Whenever I want to go for client-side implementation, I will go for using the JavaScript. Now, look at this and tell me which will give the faster performance. I have given name, phone number, email address. This is the data what I have. When I click on the submit button, I have the first requirement like this. When I click on the submit button, request is going to the server. In the server, they are verifying whether name is entered or not. Phone number is entered. Email is entered. Then if it is entered, then insert the data. Insert the data into account. Print the result. This is the first requirement. When I enter the name, click on submit, going to the server, checking whether name is entered or not, phone is entered or not, email is entered or not. If all the three values are entered, then it is going to insert into account record, print the result. This is the format we received. Second one is instead of checking here, I will verify whether name is entered or not, phone number is entered or not, email is entered or not. Then if everything is entered, it goes to server. Now which will give faster performance? First one or second one? Which will give the faster performance? Okay, first one or second one? Now, boss, when you can handle something at the client location, handle it. Now, because if I am sending a request to server is processing it, then it is giving a result back to you. It takes more time. If you can handle the things at your own location, it will be running faster. Let us see. Now I am sitting in the classroom. You are also in the classroom. You have a query. You ask the query. I have answered it. Same. I was sitting in the main building. Now you have a query. Now you have to come down to my main office, right? Main building. You come there, get your queries clarified, come back. Now which will be faster? Both the case, response will come, but which will be faster? The first one, because you and me, if you are sitting in the same classroom, the query can be answered faster, right? Boss, whenever there is a possibility of handling on the client side, perform it. Now we need to ensure that server side interaction should be reduced. If you reduce the server side interaction, performance of the page will increase, right? So whenever there is a possibility of handling the validations, whenever you want to perform a basic calculation, whenever you want to interact, whenever you want to verify the format of the data, instead of going to the server side, try to handle them on the client side. How will you handle? By using JavaScript. By using scripting. One of the scripting is JavaScript. Okay. Now, any programming language you learn, you will start with the variables, right? Variables and data types. Here, variables are defined with var. In your regular programming language, if you want to go for integer, we give integer, string, decimal, account, contact, like this will give. But in the JavaScript, all the variables are given as var. All the variables are given as var. So we are going to define the variables as var. So we are going to give var age, var string, var name, var salary, var ACC. All the variables are defined with var. Okay. Now, how do you assign your regular format, boss? Var age equal to 10, var name equal to Satish, var names equal to. Everything is defined with var. Are you getting my point? Every variable in the JavaScript we defined as var. Every variable in the JavaScript we define as var. Okay. Next one. Now, if you want to use the JavaScript, How will you use it? Boss, if you want to use the JavaScript in the VF page, we have to write within the script tag. Any scripting code you want to write in the Visual Force page, that you have to put it in the script tag. Any Visual Force in the Visual Force page, if you want to write any code related to the scripting, right now, if you want to write any script, if you want to write any script in the Visual Force page, it should be defined within the script tag. It should be defined within the script tag. Okay. Now, look at the format. Go to this. I have defined script. Whatever you want to write within the script. Now, we have if you are writing a code on the client side, I told the performance will increase, right? I told the performance will increase. If the performance will increase, why don't you write everything in the script side only? I told if you write the code in the script, it will improve the performance of the page. Then why don't you write everything in the script? Because the performance will be improved. First problem with the JavaScript is it is not a compiled language, it is an interpreted language. Now, your Apex is a compiled one, Visual Force is a compiled one. When you say compiled, when you are saving the program, at the time of saving the program only, it will compile the program. All the entire program is compiled. It will say line number 1, this is the error. Line number 14, this is the error. Line number 18, this is the error. But JavaScript is not a compiled, it is an interpreted language. What do you mean by interpreted? It will not compile anything when you save. It will not compile the program when you save. When you are executing, line number 1 will be executed. At the time of executing line number 1, it will say what all the errors are there in the line number 1. Line number 1, there is no error. It goes to line number 2. Again, execute the line number 2. While executing the line number 2, if there is any error, it will specify. That means, while executing the program, line by line, it will tell you what is the error at that particular line. It will not look at the entire program at a time. It will take one by one line, execute it. While executing the line, whatever the problem we have encountered, it will specify. So, it is very difficult for you to find out the mistakes, because it is not a compiled. If you go with Apex programming, if you go with the Visual Force programming, it says unrecognized variable in line number 21. Okay, semicolon missing at line number 34. All the errors are given to you at a time, we can rectify it. And we know where the problem is. But when you go for interpreted, we cannot know. Why? Because line by line it will not compile, execute. First line executed, no problem, run it. Second line execute, no problem, run it. Third line, no problem, execute. Fourth line, there is a problem. It will not simply it will stop executing the program. We don't know what the problem is. So if I want to test it, what should I do? I have to go to line by line and cross check. I have to go to line by line, cross check the program. I have to go to line by line, cross check the program. Are you getting my point? Am I clear? Am I clear with this? I have to go to line by line and cross check the problem. I hope you are good. So JavaScript is a interpreted language. 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 I hope you are clear. Clear for everyone? Okay. Now look at this. Apex page script. Now how you define where? Now you are defining it. When I say where name, anything that you write within the script is a case sensitive. Anything that you write within the script is a case sensitive. Your Apex program is not case sensitive. Your Visual Force program is not case sensitive, but JavaScript is a case sensitive. So we have to ensure the sensitivity of the names are properly written. The smaller, lowercase and uppercase are properly maintained. JavaScript is a case sensitive. Let us combine all the points. JavaScript is a, first one, JavaScript is a language independent. You can use this JavaScript within the Visual Force, Java, JSP, ASP.NET, anywhere we can use. It is a language independent, platform independent. You can run it on any platform. It is a language independent, platform independent. It is a interpreted language. It is a case sensitive. JavaScript is a language independent, platform independent. JavaScript is a language independent, platform independent. It is a interpreted language. It is not a compile interpreted. It is a case sensitive. It will maintain case sensitive. I hope you are clear. Okay. Now let us say var name equal to Satish. Then I want to print it. Alert. Alert will give pop-up message. Preview. What was it? We are getting a pop-up message printing the data. Now JavaScript is running along with the page. But what should I do? Boss, don't run the JavaScript along with the page. When I perform any action on the element, then only perform it. So whenever I perform browser actions, whenever I perform any browser event, whenever a browser event is performed, then only call the JavaScript. Browser event means what? On click, on double click, on select, on change, on focus, on blur, on mouse in, mouse out. Okay, all these are what? Browser specific events. Don't run the JavaScript along with the page. Run the JavaScript only when the browser event occurs. What are the browser events? Like I told you, on click, on double click, on mouse over, on mouse out, okay, on key press, key release, okay, on focus, on blur. All these are what? Events. Browser events. All these are what? Browser events. Whenever a browser event occurs, then only perform the action. Then what should I do? Create functions in the JavaScript. How will you create a functions in the JavaScript? Let us see. How do you create? Function name. This is how you define. Function name, parameters, the logic. Now I want to define a function. Function invoke So how are you defining? Function name. Function name, parameters. Function name, parameters, return type. So how are you defining? Function name. Now if you define within a function, whenever an event occurs, function will be called. Now if you define a logic in the function, whenever a event occurs, then the function will be called. Are you getting my point? How do you define a function in the JavaScript? Function name within the parameters, or if you want to give return type, you can give it. Function name, parameters, or return type. I hope you are good with this. So when the functions will be called? When the functions will be called? Functions will be called when an event occurs. So let us check out those things. function show. Now look at this. Apex form, command button, value equal to submit. On click, what is the name of this? So whenever we click on the button, we are calling show. On change. Now what was that? We are defining. When an event occurs, what is the event? On click occurs, call the show function. When on change occurs, call the call me. Are you getting my point? So how the JavaScript functions are invoked? Whenever an event occurs, they are invoked. Click on submit button. This is a show function. This is a call me. So what is that? Whenever any event occurs on the element, it is going to call JavaScript function. So if you want any logic to be performed when an event occurs, then define that logic in a function. Whenever any event occurs on the element, it is going to call JavaScript function. I hope you are clear. So when an event occurs, calling the JavaScript function. Let us go to the next one. How to pass the parameters to the JavaScript function? Now it is a show, directly calling, call me, directly calling. In case if you want to pass any parameters to the JavaScript function, how will you pass? So passing the parameters to the JavaScript function. So look at this. You can also take Apex class also. Function. Function show name. Let us see this. Show. I am passing the parameter. Show Satish. Then I am calling dollar user dot I am passing global data. I am passing the data from Apex class. So this is how I created. What was the bug here? Controller equal to preview, submit. Name Satish, cancel. Name development live I give. First thing. Invoke, name equal to Kiran. So what was that? Whatever the parameters we are passing, that parameter is printed. Here I am straight away passing the value of Satish. Here I am passing the global data. Here I am passing the data from Apex class. The one of the variable I was passing. So invoking a JavaScript function with parameters. When event occurs, JavaScript function will be called. While calling the JavaScript function, I want to pass some parameters. While invoking the JavaScript function, I want to call some parameters. While invoking the JavaScript function, I want to call some parameters. Am I clear with this? People are good with this? Clear for everyone? Okay. So whenever any event occurs, JavaScript will be called. While calling the JavaScript function, we are passing some parameters. I hope you are clear with this. Right. Let us go to the next one. How to read the values from the Visual Force components from using JavaScript. Listen to the concept carefully. How elements are recognized based on their IDs. I am giving enter name. Apex input text. Ready to go. Now, what I was giving on change. What was that? Whenever the value of the name changes, invoke a JavaScript function called show. Now, how do you write it? Now, function. Till here, we have done the previous examples, right, boss? So when on change occurs, show will be called. Now, whatever the name you entered, I want to read that name and print the value. So how to read the values which are entered in the input components? So look at this, where name equal to document dot, entire page is a document, document dot get element, G small, E capital, B capital, get element by ID, I capital, document dot get element by ID, G small, E capital, B capital, I capital. Now where is this page? In the page we have form. In the form we have page block. In the page block we have, now what I am doing? ID of the page. In the page we have form. In the form we have page block. In the page block we have name. Right? Page, form, page block, name. Then alert. Document dot get element by ID, page, form, page block, name, dot value. Dot value. Have a preview. So when you enter the name, whatever the name we entered, we are capturing it. On change, get the name. Right, boss? How are you reading the value? Document dot get element by ID. Document dot get element by ID. I hope you are good with this. Right? Document dot get element by ID. Now let us take same in different format. So we're going to take Apex page block. I'm giving Apex input text. So I'm going to create one button here. Command button, value equal to submit, on click equal to. Now I'm giving a script here. What is the function we give? Function show. Now where name equal to, we can give document dot get element by ID. We can give it in the format also. Dollar component dot, we can give dollar component dot PB component dot PB name. So in whichever the element we are taking, from that element we can take. We can say form dot PB dot name. Let me give you let us see the output first. What was that? Satish. Now look at the point. I don't want to give the complete path. I don't want to give the complete path. I don't want to give a complete path. I don't want to give a complete path. I want to take from the current position. Now the same example, if you want to take with the regular format, what we do? Where a is equal to document dot get element by ID, page, form, page block. In the page block we have this is how we are going to give. Am I right? Page colon form colon page form page block H. What is the other format? What is the other format we have? What is the other format? Dollar component dot, from wherever I am, from that give the remaining path. No need of giving complete path. Page form, no need of giving it. From whichever the location I am using, from the current location give the remaining path. So I'll just make it a meaningful statement here. Let us build one example. Try to understand this example. I'll tell you when to go for format 1, format 2. Look at this. This is how we created. Now, look at this. I am writing a script here. I am writing the script here. Function show. Now look at the format. Var name equal to, how should I create? Document dot get ID. How you are supposed to give? Page, form, page block. In the page block we have page block section. In the page block section item 1. In that we have, I was supposed to give entire path. Now the second one, I am writing age. Document dot get component dot, where I am now? I am in the page block section, right? From the page block section give page block section item 2 dot there was a bug here. Unbalanced. Right. So I am already in the page block section. So what I am doing? From that location giving the remaining path. Page block section item 2 dot age. In the above one, I was supposed to give the complete path. Are you getting my point? Okay. Let the script outside. Then I'll give page block section. Submit. So what is that? Name, age. Now every time if I have to give the complete path, it will be difficult for me. Right? So I can refer to the element straight away from the current location. Whatever the remaining path is there, if I give that path, it will be easy for me. No need of giving the complete path. So like that, if you want to give, how you are referring? Did you get my concept here? I have given the complete path. In the second case, I have simply given from the current location, remaining path I have given. From the current location, remaining path I have given. How did you define that? Look at this. Dollar component dot path. Component dot dollar component dot path. Dollar component dot path. From the current location, remaining path you are giving. I hope you are good with this. People have followed, right? Now, if you are not happy with this, you are happy to take complete path, simple default format. You can take this default format, right? This is to read the values from the Visual Force component, use it in the. This is to read the values from the Visual Force component, use it in the JavaScript. I hope you are good with this. Clear for everyone? Clear? Everyone is clear? Okay. Now, let us take another example. I hope people have followed this example. Everyone is good, right? We are able to read the value. We are able to use it. You want to print it or sum or whatever you want. So let us take one simple calculation. Then I'm giving here then this is how we have given. So A value, B value. Then I'm giving some calculator. Then I told on complete. Right. This is how I give it. Now what I'm doing, I'm writing some function here. Function add where A value equal to document dot get element by ID. How you take it? Dollar component dot page block section item 1 dot. This is how we got where result equal to now let us see. Generally it's going to take the values as text values. We have calculated the result. Now what should I do? Display this. One is putting in the input text, other one is putting in the output text. One is setting the value for input text, other one is as output text. Both I will be giving it. How do you set it? document dot get element by id dollar component dot value equal to document dot get id. Component dot page block section item 4 dot inner HTML equal to. So look at this. Inner HTML is for what? Inner HTML I am putting inner HTML I give. If you want to display the value, it should be inner HTML. Why we are getting this 1010? Because it is taking the values as what? It is taking the values as it is taking the values as it is taking the value as string. It is taking the value as string. It is taking the value as string. Because it is taking the value as string, it is given 10 plus 10 plus 10, we got 1010. So what I should do? Convert them into integer and make it. So parse. When I say parse int, the string values are converted into integer and they made it parse int. Because they are considering the value as a string, we are converting the string into int. Parse int. Convert the value into integer. This is what? Inner HTML. This is what? Value. If you want to display the value in the text box, dot value. If you want to display like output, dot inner HTML. Look at this example, everyone. This is what? Dot inner HTML. If you want to print the value in the box, dot value. Dot value, dot inner HTML. Dot value, dot inner HTML. I hope you are clear with this. Dot value, dot inner HTML. Dot value, dot inner HTML. Okay. Let us go to the next one. I will take the other function. What was that? Here, I will take the other format of reading the data. What is that? The value equal to document dot page form page block section item dot same story b value result. Then this is 4 inner HTML equal to so this is how we have called. What I was supposed to do? This is how we are getting it. What was the bug here? It is a result, right? Now the above is component dot, below one is complete path. Whichever the way you are comfortable, you can choose that. Whichever the way you are comfortable with, you can choose that. I hope you are good. What we are doing, taking the data, reading the data, performing the calculation, setting the data to input element, setting the data to output element. If it is output element, inner HTML, input element dot value. I hope you are good with this. I hope everyone is good with this. Clear for everyone? Right, boss? Am I clear? Now, let us get into very important functionality. Let us get into very important functionality. That is action function, action support, action region, action polar, action status. Now, till now, we are reading the value from input components performing. How do you call method from Apex class? How do you call method from Apex class? How do you call method from Apex class? Now, what was this? Now, how do you call method from Apex class? Now, look at the format. Now, they are having a question here. The first question. Boss, if you want to refer to the JavaScript when any event occurs, what we do, when an event occurs, we are going to call JavaScript. But what I am saying, I don't want to call a JavaScript. When any event occurs, I want to call method from Apex class. When any event occurs, I want to call method from Apex class. Right. How do you call? How do you call method from Apex class? Right now, when I click on a button, JavaScript is getting called. I don't want to call the JavaScript. When I click on the button, I want to call a method from Apex class. When I click on a button, I want to call a method from Apex class. Are you getting? I don't want to call a JavaScript. I want to call a method from Apex class. How do you do that? So let us see this. Let us demonstrate with the basic examples. So I have public. Right. Now let us take your name, place. Let us go to the VF page. input text value equal to input text value equal to name. Generally, what will happen? On click, on change, show. On change show means whenever the value is going to change, we are calling a JavaScript function called show. But what is our requirement now? Not to call a JavaScript, we want to call a Apex class. So what we do? Apex input text, Apex action support, event. Action support will be defined within the element. Input text open, action support, input text close. Page block open, action support, page block close. Command link open, action support, command link close. Within any one of the element, we define. Within the element, within the body of the element, we define action support. So, on change. This is how I give. Please. So what is the requirement? Whenever the value in this input text changes, go to the Apex class, perform the action. Go to the Apex class, perform the action. Listen to the format carefully. Whenever the change occurs on this component, go to the Apex class, perform the action. Have a preview. Now action occurred. What happened? Your name Satish, place blank. When the change occurred, go to Apex class, perform. So when the change is occurring here, automatically perform the action. When the change is occurring here, automatically perform the action. Whenever the event occurs on this element, call the method from Apex class. Whenever the event is occurring on this, call the method from Apex class. Are you getting my point? Where will you define action support? Within the element. Within the element. Now, did you get my concept? Did you get my concept? Within the element, when any event is occurring, it is calling the method from Apex class. Now tell me one example where we can use this. Look at this. No idea. Initially, now what happened? Whenever the city name is modified to Hyderabad, whenever the city name is modified, get the Hyderabad places. When I change the value of Picklister to Bangalore, display the Bangalore places. How we are getting? When the value of the city changes, you want to go to Apex class, find out what are the corresponding places, display those corresponding places in the pick list. Did you get my concept here? Did you get my concept? When the change occurs on the city, automatically go to Apex class, perform some logic, get the data and display it. How will you achieve it? By using what? Action support. Let me show an example, the same example. Listen carefully. I'll try to implement the same example. So, field dependency. Try to understand this. How many pick lists we require? 2 pick lists, right? Cities. public list of, select option, public, public string. This is what I created. So first go with the constructor. Then we have city map equal to list of string Hyderabad places equal to Hyderabad. Right. So this is how we created. Now first create the options here. How do you create? City is equal to new list of places equal to new list of. Now what we want to do? Get the set of city names. Where are the city names, boss? In the map, we have taken the city name as a key and we have taken a places as a value. City name as a key, places as a value. So what we have? City map dot. Let's say city map dot key set. What we are going to get? Set of city names. Okay. Then in that case, take one by one value. String is op equal to new select option. Now, in both the cases, what is the starting value? None should be there in the starting value, right? Select option, none equal to look at the forward bus. First, I will show the output till here, whatever I have done. Then we'll go to the remaining part of the program. First, let me show the output. Select list. Right. Basic example. Now go to the preview. This is the pick list what I created. So here I will give cities. Look at the basic structure. Cities, Hyderabad, Bangalore, places. What should be the value of the places here? Places. City, Hyderabad, Bangalore, places. Hyderabad, Bangalore, places. Right, boss? Now, based on this, whenever I change the value of Hyderabad, get the Hyderabad places, display the pick list here. When I say Bangalore, Bangalore places, display here. So, the moment I change the value in the pick list field, automatically the places value should change. Now, what did I do in the case? Look at this. Look at this. I already created a map. In the map, city name is the key, list of places are the value. So, what I am doing here? Public void get there. Check out. If first remove everything, places not clear. Whatever the existing places are there, remove them. First remove the existing places because existing value is Hyderabad. I change to Bangalore. What should I do? Remove the Hyderabad places first, add the Bangalore places. If I change from Bangalore to Hyderabad, remove the Bangalore places first, add the Hyderabad places. So I told clear. Then add an option. Then I told if selected is not equal to none. If the city what you selected, if it is not equal to none, then it should be Hyderabad or Bangalore. Then get list of city map dot get of whichever the city I have selected. If I give that city value, we are going to get the list of places. Whichever the city we have selected, we are going to get the corresponding list of places. City map dot get of selected. City map dot get of selected. Okay. Then in this case, what we are going to do for this is how we got it. Now what did I do? Based on the city what you selected, get the corresponding places, create a fresh pick list of option, add it. Now what should happen? Whenever the value of the city is changing in the pick list, if the value of the city is changing, so what should I give? Action, support, event, on. Whenever the value of city is changing, then action, get data. Look at the context here. I am changing. Whenever the value of city is changing, automatically. Now, what is this functionality called? Action support. When the event is occurring on this component, you want to call a method from Apex class, perform some action, we will use action support. When the event occurs, we are not clicking on a button. We are not clicking on a button. If you click on a button, method will be called. I want to call a method from Apex class when an event occurs. On change, on click, on focus, on blur. Whenever any event is occurring, I want to call method from Apex class. then I will go for action support. But where is that action support defined? Within the element. Open the element, close the element. If I want to define action support for 4 elements, 4 times I have to write. Because action support will work for an individual element, not for a group of elements. Right? Whichever the element on which you want to perform an event, in that element we write action support. Are you clear about this? Are you clear? When an event is occurring, generally we are calling it JavaScript. Now what I am saying, don't call the JavaScript, call the method from Apex class. To achieve that, we are giving action support. Where are you defining action support? Within the element. Event. What type of event? Which method I have to call? Refresh the page. I hope you are good. Right. That's all from my end for the day. We'll continue action function tomorrow.